Welcome to My Tiny Tarot Practice, a podcast where we explore the tarot card by card, starting with the suits of the minor arcana. I'm your host, Amelia Fruby, and this show documents my tiny tarot practice as I am learning the meanings of the cards, both some popular interpretations and mostly my own thoughts. Today's card is the Knight of Pentacles. In the Rider-Waite-Smith edition of the tarot, the Knight of Pentacles features a knight seated on a horse, holding a coin or a pentacle in front of them and kind of staring beyond it into the distance. This knight, throughout the tarot, the knights are cards of action. They're very active cards. And it's notable then that this knight is very still. The horse is still, the knight is still. There's definitely a sense of stillness and rootedness in this card. And so I think of the Knight of Pentacles as an invitation or an invocation to root deeper into the material, into the world, into our bodies, into ritual, into that which has lasted a long time, into our ancestry, to our history, into our behavior. There are so many different ways we can go deeper. We can grow roots. And that's how I think of the knight. This card is sometimes referred to as the builder, which I think I learned from Rachel Pollack's 78 Degrees of Wisdom. Jessica Crispin in the Creative Tarot talks about it as a card of cultivating physical discipline. Similarly, Jessica Dorr in Tarot for Change talks about this card as one of staying the course, of being patient, of being a boulder. I like how she puts it. This card, in my sense of rooting deeper, it is also about stillness. You could use this card as a sign to take up a meditation practice if you like, but I think it's really about choosing depth over forward motion. Not that going deeper isn't a forward motion, but perhaps it's a much less visible one, right? Many of the knights in that very active stance, they're so visible. They're moving around a lot. You can really see their energy in the cards. And this one is so still. Often when we root deeper, that is invisible to the world around us. We can think of the mycelial networks of trees or mushrooms and the ways that so much is happening in those root systems, but it's not visible to those of us who only live on the surface. And so that's the Knight of Pentacles to me, an invocation to root deeper, an opportunity to release the cultural narratives around progress as visible achievement, and a moment where we're invited to step into the practice of devotion. If you listen to the episode on the Page of Pentacles, I talked about that card as a moment of learning that we're capable of devotion, of taking the first step toward that. And this is a card of the practice of it. Devotion is a deepening practice. And so that's what the Knight of Pentacles invites us into. Thank you so much for listening to My Tiny Tarot Practice. If you enjoyed this episode or you'd like to find any of the books that I mentioned here, please head to our bookshop link in the show notes. There you'll find a really cool curated list of my favorite tarot books, decks, gifts, fun things. And if you make a purchase through that link, I will receive a small affiliate payment and you will support this podcast. I hope that you spend some time ruminating on and with the Knight of Pentacles today, and maybe, just maybe, being like a boulder.